in the 17 years that I've been here, I think this last decade, I think I've probably seen more movement in that area than I did when I first got here, you know, because now you look at the schools of, you know, the deans of the 10 schools and colleges, and you've got 3 non-white deans, you know, which was, and 5 female deans, 6 female deans. I mean, so it's totally different.
When I was early on a junior professor, there were traditional roles people of color would do, and I did them, you know, like being the director of the Mellon Mays program, for example, or being liaison to the ESA, being, you know, sort of being slotted into serving underrepresented students. But it was Kahala Holloway who said, Lee, you're going to be pulled into all of these different, more traditional leadership development paths, but what I'm going to do is put you on the, I don't know what it was called back then, the computer tech committee. Putting you outside of the more traditional ones really benefited me as well. The next, she says, I think you should be on the curriculum committee. Because, you know, so, you know, having administrative deans or people in positions of sort of influence that can nominate you, and having sponsors or mentors made the difference for me. And I didn't at the time know that that was a big deal, or sort of that she was positioning me to take on other less traditional sort of roles.
When I was appointed Dean of the Graduate School in 2012, I was the first Black dean of one of the 10 schools and colleges. Now we're talking 2012. We're not talking 1960, we're not talking 68, okay? Which means Duke has been so far behind the curve. When Emory had already had a Black provost and Black arts and sciences dean, and Carolina had already had these people, and we in 2012 were just getting to that point. So I think that Duke has been behind the curve on a number of things.
I think the opportunity for leadership in diverse and different areas are open to faculty today. As a person of color, I think there are distinctive challenges in the sort of leadership positions. However, there's always this sense that it's like, was I chosen for this, whether it's a curriculum committee or something, because I happen to be Black or because I am Black? And I think sometimes people are like, oh, that's great, they happen to be Black. But if you come as a Black dean with a, you know, supporting agendas that support Black students or faculty, people are like, wow, is that right? I mean, like, I thought I think Dean Ashby's running into this. We thought she happened to be Black. No, she has a very specific 50 years, we're going to celebrate it all year. And so there's that sort of irony, and you just have to be really confident that your cultural perspective, your priorities, not that you don't privilege Black students, you're just going to make sure that the students and faculty of all different types have equal opportunities.
That's great, right? That we have this. But then there are kind of the downsides of that, in the sense that you get pulled out of the ability to interact with Black faculty in areas where you would have been able, where you did participate before, like the Black Faculty Caucus, right? Then when you're an administrator, then it's like, you know, they want to keep, which is right, a distance from, quote unquote, the administration and their activities, you know. And from our standpoint is it appropriate for me as a dean of the graduate school to be part of the Black Faculty Caucus, which I was before, and I was part of the executive committee. I mean, so I was very active there. So it's like these trade-offs that in some ways can make it a very lonely existence unless you develop these other networks, you know, that help.
The team here at Duke at all levels is really committed to being an innovating, leading institution. The sort of entrepreneurial spirit at Duke is stunning and a lot of fun. The commitment of the leadership team is very impressive. This place never gets boring, and so it's been a privilege and an honor to provide most of my career so far here at Duke University.